I lost a beautiful job opportunity last week, and the same last week I almost died, or let's say I had a health scare that almost took my life. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is somewhat like a story time. Of course, it's a sad story, but so you know how like people say, unfortunately, emails you apply to a job and they send you, oh, unfortunately, we're unable to take you. You feel that is painful, Abby, but that is not even painful compared to the fact that you are this close to getting this job. I mean, you are very close to getting your, maybe you've done the interview, you've passed through like the hiring process, and suddenly this job slips out of your hands. You guys, that was my story last week. So at the beginning of October, I applied for this NHS job, and my mind wasn't even there. Honestly, I was expecting the usual, unfortunately, but suddenly I just got an email, like I think like 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, thereabout, that I've been placed on reserve, and I wasn't invited for an interview. I think they were doing the interview in batches or something. I don't know, but they just basically, the email was that I've been placed on reserve. You move now. I've been placed on reserve, and that I'll be invited for like interview on at a later date. So I still remove my mind, because in my mind I'm like, okay, maybe the later date could be 2 months, it could be 3 months, still no wahala. The fact that I'm on reserve list, I have hope. I think 1 week later, I received another email that I've been scheduled for an interview. You guys, this interview was scheduled for Wednesday. Wednesday is 22nd. I'll check the date, but this interview was scheduled for Wednesday. And if you know, Dress Your Miracle was on Tuesday, breaking Wednesday. Basically, just call it Wednesday, early morning on Wednesday. So I was so hopeful. I got this email. I was preparing. Like, I have never read and prepared for an interview as much as I did for this one, because I think this one was, I was just already picturing myself. I mean, you work with the NHS, so this job now would like chances of getting sponsorship, you know, now it's NHS, right? So when I even got the email, I sent my sister a message that this job is actually good, at least for a good start. The fact that, oh, you work with the NHS, like, and then I have chance of getting sponsorship at some point at least. So I told my sister that it's not really my dream role, but at least let me get into the NHS and I'll transition into my dream role. It's something I've been, so you could work yourself, basically just work hard and move forward. That's what I told myself. And I was so excited. I read, I prepared. Like I said, I have never prepared for an interview as much as I have done for this one. I read YouTube, I watched YouTube videos, I went to Indeed, I read articles, possible questions. I was prepared. I even had, like, you know, this is my sticky notes. I made bullet points and stuck them on the wall just in case maybe while talking I miss out on some points or something. Basically, I had everything set for this interview. You guys, on the day, so the interview was for 3:45 p.m. Yes, I remember. I had set up my whatever. I was on my laptop. I had logged in. There were two interviewers. That's to tell you how serious this interview is. The two interviewers were seated, and of course I was also seated, and we were about to start. In fact, we started, and then this lady's like, okay, let's go over the role so you know what to expect and all of that. And then she starts going over the role. This is the job description, this is what they do, this is, you know, are you comfortable working in such situation? Take concern about it, overload. I am comfortable. Please go on with this interview. Like, at this point my blood was hot. What is it you want to ask? I have prepped every single thing. I was ready, I was prepared. And then she starts to tell me about like the modus operandi, and she says, oh, it's a 12-hour shift. It's a 12-hour shift, and then it's 4 days in, 3 days off. So in a week you could do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the remaining 3 days in the, no, she said 4 days in, 4 days off. So for four days you're working 12 hours, which makes it 48 hours. And then she asks the golden question: are you available full time? Nobody talks about how hard it is for students to land jobs. Like, ask any student you know in the UK. They are not doing a job they are passionate. Most of them are doing menial jobs. At most, teaching assistant, or you hardly see, they exist, of course, but you hardly see people functioning in the fields they want to function in. And then she goes, are you readily available for like these 4 shifts? I start to shalaye. I'll be student 20 hours, but from next year I'll be available if you can give me the 20. Hey, you will shalaye. Anyways, bottom line, she says, oh, I'm so sorry, we can't continue with this interview because we need people who are readily available. We don't want people who want to start fully next year. We want people who are readily available as in now. And I'm trying to convince her, okay, why not um allow me from now till December? By January, even though I'm still a student at that time, I don't care, but at least my classes will have finished by then and I can work full time. And she says, no, you can feel free to reapply. They will advertise for this role sometime next year that I can reapply. I cried though. While I tried to bring up different suggestions. I say, okay, after all the suggestions I brought her, she said no, they cannot proceed with the interview. They can't allow. I said, okay, give me only 9 shifts. I'll do all the 9. She said, no, it's not fair. If we give you only 9 shifts, that means some people will have to work day constantly, and it will not be fair to them. After all the things, and I said, okay, just conduct the interview. I was like, just go, let it be that this was, but go ahead, because at this point, because in my mind I'm like, let me just do the interview. Maybe by God's grace, God is going to touch them. In my mind, I will perform so well, and God is going to touch them to just go. But lie, she did not she did not agree. She said no. Cynthia Ofori, go home. Hey, I cried. They ended the interview. In fact, they ended it on me. I cried. Like, but then again, you would like to say that, oh, if it has gone, maybe God has better plans. Whether God get better plans or God no get better plans, it don't go be say it don't go. And I cried, and I think I have moved on, maybe. And so I told my sister, now of course she go give me good words of it. But something happened that day. You see, God is good though. My life may not be going the way I want it, but God is good. Do you know that on that same day, I was moody, I was down, I was not depressed, but I was so sad because, I mean, 2 things happened that day. So, 2 payments I was expecting. Now, this payment ordinarily would have come, but these 2 payments chose to come on that day. You know, one thing money does to you, that once money enter your account, you think you are sad, you think you are depressed, but once money enters your account, yeah, you go happy die. So tell me why 2 of those payments came on the same day. Like, this one just dropped now, 1 hour later the other one dropped. Like, and I'm excited about this payment, and then the next thing, another payment on that same day. Like I said, these 2 payments would have eventually happened, but both of them just had to happen on the same day too. I said, okay, God is consoling me, and it's morning. You guys, so I feel bad about that, but like I said, a better opportunity will come by God's grace. So another thing that happened to me on Friday, this one happened on Wednesday. What am I saying? Okay, this was last week. Hey, I'm filming this video like 2 weeks later. So last week Friday, like I said, I will put the date so that to avoid confusion. That interview happened like on a Wednesday. So this one Wednesday 2 weeks ago. Or is it last week? I'm confused. No, everything I'm talking about happened last week, not 2 weeks ago. Last week. So I'm filming this video on Tuesday. So the supposed interview was supposed to happen on a Wednesday. Yes, on a Wednesday. So on Friday of that same week, so I went to a teaching assistant shift on a Thursday. So usually they'll say, oh, I'll give you a call the next day if you had a shift. So I was expecting a shift that Friday morning. Tell me why I woke up that morning. I was pressed. I just went to use the toilet and came back. And then my body, as in, I just went from 10 to 0 in an instant. Like, my stomach I was experiencing excruciating. I've never felt that kind of pain in my entire life. In my how many years on earth, I have never felt that pain. Like, my tummy was, I don't, like, the kind of pain you can't explain. So the first person I called, of course, my sister. I called my sister that, see, in case you call me and I'm not picking, or in case you've not heard from me in a while, call ambulance. So because maybe I must have dropped dead in this room, because this pain at this point is something I cannot explain. I called my brother. I told him, okay, after I called my sister, she said, call the hospital. I had to call my GP, and then I booked an appointment. They said if it was an emergency, you can call the ambulance, but if it's not an emergency, book for an appointment to see the GP. And I said in my mind, okay, it's not an emergency. But I was dying. Like, I was dying in. I could not turn. I could not. If I'm at a place, the pain is there, but not something I can not do without. But the moment I move, like, it was bad. Well, eventually I booked to see the GP for 3 p.m. But this pain, I was asking myself, can I live like, can I stay like this until 3 p.m.? It's not possible. So I called my brother. He was at work, but he had to book a pain reliever for me, like Buscopan, because here pain really, it was really a big deal. So I used the last human energy I had to go downstairs to take that drug, and he said I could take it without eating, luckily, but I just had to manage. Anyways, I took the pain reliever and I was fine. But like I said, I had already booked to see the GP, so I went to see the GP later that day. We did tests, like we did urine tests, and he gave me some drugs, and then he told me that, oh, they will do further tests and give me feedback. If there's anything, they'll let me know this week. So today is Tuesday. They'll let me know by Tuesday today. So at the time of filming this video, this is around 4 p.m. and they've not contacted me. So I'm hoping everything is okay. Hopefully. But the drug has been good because it has relieved me. And since he said, he asked how long this pain has, I told him, and he's like, okay, probably is nothing serious. But he gave me drugs and medicine. And they call it drugs. And I was fine because literally my life flashed before my eyes. I'm like, this is how people die. You just say, I saw her yesterday. She was healthy. She was strong. You just wake up and something just happens and that's it. Anyways, I thank God. But you see that job part, this is like the second, is it the second or the third time this is happening to me? Like, a good opportunity comes your way, and because you're a student, you just, anyways, guys, I say, let me tell you people, it's not easy. Ah, it's not easy, but anyways, it is what it is. So thank you so much for coming to my video, and please like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you in the next one. Toodles. Toodles. Toodles.